From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, December the 1st, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. CISA adds actively exploited XSS bug to KEV. CISA has added a security flaw that impacts OpenPLC SCADA BR to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, citing evidence of active exploitation. The vulnerability has a CVSS score of 5.4 and it's a cross-site scripting flaw that affects Windows and Linux versions of the software via systemssetting.shtm. The security company Forescout had seen a pro-Russian hacktivist group called TwoNet, that's TWONET, targeting its honeypot in September 2025, mistaking it for a water treatment facility. Japanese brewer Asahi provides details regarding October ransomware attack. The Japanese brewer announced on Thursday that the ransomware attack that occurred in October, quote, may have exposed personal PII of about 1.5 million customers, as well as thousands of employees, their family members, and external contacts, end quote, but not credit card details. The company has seen, quote, no evidence the data had been published online and said the impact appears limited to systems managed in Japan, end quote. The attack forced production shutdowns, delayed product launches, and disrupted order processing and shipping nationwide. California law regulating web browsers might impact national data privacy. In October, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law to amend the state's Consumer Privacy Act in order to mandate that web browsers, quote, create a turnkey tool for residents to opt out from data sharing once instead of having to do so each time they visit a website, end quote. Now, privacy changes required by a, quote, newly enacted California law could mean web browsers will soon offer all Americans a mechanism to easily opt out of all data sharing and sales when surfing the web, end quote. Currently, most web browsers do not offer mechanisms for residents to exercise these rights, but once they do, tens of millions of consumers, including those outside of California, may benefit. The law goes into effect on January the 1st, 2027. Windows 11 password window disappears. Microsoft is warning its customers that Windows 11 updates released since August, quote, may cause the password sign-in option to disappear from the lock screen options, even though the button remains functional, end quote. The password icon appears only when multiple sign-in options such as PIN, security key, password, and fingerprint are available. For users who just use passwords, the icon may not appear at all since Windows will just show the password field by default. However, hovering over the space where the icon should appear reveals the button, allowing users to sign in with their password. Microsoft has yet to provide a timeline for the fix. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. This message comes from Vanta. What's your 2 a.m. security worry? Is it, do I have the right controls in place? Or, are my vendors secure? Enter Vanta. Vanta automates manual work so you can stop sweating over spreadsheets, chasing audit evidence, and filling out endless questionnaires. Their trust management platform continuously monitors your systems, centralizes your data, and simplifies your security at scale. Get started at vanta.com/CISO, that is VANTA.com/CISO. Microsoft to speed up Teams. In additional Microsoft news, the company says that in January it will be adding a new Teams call handler to reduce launch times and boost call performance for the Windows desktop client. The process will be named ms-teams_module-host.exe, which will handle the calling stack separately from the main application process to optimize resource usage and enhance meeting experiences without requiring additional end-user training. IT admins are, quote, advised to prepare for the change by listing the new process in security software and endpoint protection systems to prevent false positive detections and calling issues, as well as user confusion. French Soccer Federation suffers data breach. This breach came as a result of a compromised account which allowed attackers to steal PII belonging to its members. The breach involved software, quote, used by clubs for their administrative management and in particular that of their members, end quote. The organization did not disclose the number of members impacted. Democrat wins Virginia largely on the topic of data centers. John McAuliffe, a 33-year-old small business owner and former civil servant, won election to Virginia's legislature this month, in part due to voters' concern over, quote, the deleterious effects of data centers and their impact on electricity bills, end quote. The data centers of Loudoun County handle more traffic than any other concentration in the world and are central to the functioning of much of the internet. The warehouse-sized facilities impose upon farmland and create significant noise in addition to electricity bills. A 2024 report from the Virginia General Assembly's Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission stated that Virginia's rate structure charges the facilities themselves for the use of electric power. However, quote, energy prices are likely to increase for all customers to cover the costs of new infrastructure and power importing needed, end quote. McAuliffe described this as an artificial tax on everyday Virginians to benefit Amazon, Google, and some of the companies with the biggest market caps in human history. Which is not to say they don't provide benefits to those communities, but that we need to do a much, much better job of extracting those benefits because the companies can afford them. End quote. Do you want to know more about the most pressing stories of the last few days in time for your weekly stand-up? Join us today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Department of No, where our guests Matthew Bibby, Director of Cybersecurity at TixTrack, and Derek Fisher, Director of the Cyber Defense and Information Assurance Program at Temple University, will sort out the priority stories and do a deep dive on the ones that matter most. And of course, we will actively involve you in the conversation. Just go to YouTube, search for CISO Series, and look for Rich Stroffolino's smiling face under Upcoming Live Streams. If you have some thoughts on the news from today or about our show in general, please be sure to reach out to us at feedback@cisoseries.com. We would love to hear from you. I'm Steve Prentice, reporting for the CISO Series.
Cybersecurity headlines are available every weekday. Head to CISOseries.com for the full stories behind the headlines.